Hey guys! So, today we're going to talk a little bit about making something beautiful and knowing how to make things beautiful or fancy, depending on how you look at it. So let's get into it. You see, the other day I was watching this tech talk where this developer, she was presenting a series of different text animations and how she could enhance and enrich text on a page without losing accessibility or searchability, anything like that. Now the tricks were very neat, and the biggest part of all of this was that she used data attributes or custom attributes on her markup to basically just mirror the text that was in the actual element, and then she used the before and the after pseudo elements to do not just those, but to do various things with the text. Now it was great, and I mean I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I learned like that trick is a very good one. And I watched with great interest, and as she was showing off all these great and fascinating and really cool animations and effects and so forth, I had this moment where you may have had it yourself as well, because every one of these, especially in CSS, this is very, very common in web design and people showing off grid and all these other things. They always start by saying, I made this thing, it's beautiful, it's amazing, but you can't use it in real life because there is very little support for it. Now, this is a repeating pattern. It's very, very common that you get this sort of feedback loop where you start out getting excited, you get ramped up for something, and you really feel how this is going to be a contribution to your skills. By learning this, you're going to be able to make these amazing things that is going to bring some type of value to your company and to your workflow, right? And then right after that, somebody tells you something along the lines, oh no, but the support is unfortunately really, really bad. So you just have to be patient until, or whatever. And I even go one further. I mean, some people will be happy if they hear that, oh, there's a polyfill for that. I don't. If you tell me that, oh yeah, this amazing effect here, all you need to do is add a little bit of JavaScript and I've already stopped listening to you. Fredrik Christensen does not use polyfills just to make something a little bit more pretty. No way. It's actually funny because a great tech talk about CSS Grid, where people have been asking about, where's my polyfill for CSS Grid? And I kind of go, if you ask for a polyfill to CSS Grid, then you don't know CSS. I'm sorry. Like, having a polyfill for that would be like that is literally like it's not great. It's not smart. Then you may as well use Bootstrap or whatever. That's that sort of thing. I'm not going to rant about this, but guys, polyfills is not always a good thing. As I said, I personally think that you should avoid them unless you really need them for some very, very specific reason. But as I was watching, I came to this realization, and it's something that I've had with me for quite some time. There is a certain level of frustration, I would say, involved in learning all these more advanced techniques and how to make things beautiful, or how to make something really cool, or using some type of trendy technology or something like that. And especially when you're working with standards or in an environment such as the browser, where, as I said, there's quite a lot that needs to happen in order for you to be able to use it in a live environment. Because that's the thing, right? A lot of people who get excited about progressive things, they get excited first about the progressive thing, like the actual thing, and then they have to make a reality check and realize, oh shit, I can't use this. And as long as we respect that, I think we're pretty fine, because we need people who get really excited and really push things. But it's dangerous if you, as I said, if you go into the polyfill mind space and you try to force or shim, and especially if you have like this idea of fallbacks. Don't even get me started about fallbacks. You're kind of flirting with what is productive and sustainable in favor of your own excitement. And that's the thing that I want to touch on, because I think that in this scenario, the mindset that we should have is very similar to that of a martial artist. Where am I going with this? Well, just hear me out. You see, as a martial artist, you train pretty much as hard, or maybe even harder depending on situation, of course, but you train very, very hard all the time to learn a skill set, to master the art of fighting, if you will. And unless you're in a competition type of situation, let's say that you're just practicing it for survival, like self-defense, if you will. Now, statistically, the odds of you getting to use those skills on a regular basis, at least, is going to be very, very low. In other words, you are investing quite a lot of time in order to learn and master a skill set that you will only use maybe a few times. And most martial artists are okay with this, because for them the enjoyment comes from the personal development and the actual activity of it all, the actual practice, as opposed to having, to use their skills in a live environment. And I think that's something we should learn, and I think that's something that we should adopt when it comes to these sorts of progressive front-end techniques. Or it doesn't have to be front-end, it can be anything. I think that's a really, really good mindset to have, because that's the way that I like to think about it. Now, I know that in my job, it's very rare that like these text animations, as I said, I know for a fact that I will most likely never, as part of production code, build something like this. But I want to know how to do it. Not only because it's enjoyable to me to understand, but also because the tips and the tricks and the mindset and the ideas will enhance my understanding of the platform that I work with. It will also be something that I can pull out for those occasions where I might need to leverage that sort of knowledge, or at least I'm in the area and maybe I remember some small, as I said, this little detail about how I could, in this scenario it was how to use the content property to actually grab values from the data from custom attributes. Now that's a really good tip. I may not use the whole thing and use all these fancy animations and stuff that she was showing, but that tip was really good. And that's the sort of thing that I like to remember when I'm looking at these demos and showcases of advanced techniques within CSS or JavaScript and so forth. And what I want you to take away from this, guys, is that although you may get disheartened by the fact that it's very rare that you get to use more advanced and sophisticated techniques, I think that you should still learn them. Because although it may not be something you do every day, it's really useful to know how to make these things when that time actually comes. Have a great day.